Hello there, and thank you very much for opening up this video. I really do appreciate it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bond, James Bond. I'm a health and fitness expert based in the United Kingdom. And today I want to talk to you about why the European Union is acting like energy companies. Now you're probably thinking, what the hell is this guy on about? Let me explain. On a very part-time basis, I do energy tendering for commercial companies. Now let me explain the situation. If you are a business, which many people watching this video are business owners, you will have a contract for your electricity and gas. Sometime in that contract, it's usually a narrow window period of 30 days in the last 90 days, you can terminate your supply contract. If you don't, at the end of the contract, they can actually extend the contract by up to the same length and raise the rates. And usually they raise them quite a bit. Or they can put you what's known as default out of contract rates, which are, to be polite, somewhat horrendous. I actually have seen cases of £5 a day in standing charges, and they've literally multiplied the unit cost with by tenfold. Now that's quite horrendous. If you try to leave outside the window period, what happens is the energy company will say, fine, not a problem, but you have to pay us all the money that you would have paid us during that contract. In other words, if you had a 5-year contract, for example, and you wanted to leave after the first year, they'd want 4 years worth of payments, and then you could go. This is very similar to Theresa May's Brexit exit deal. They wanted £39 billion, and they wanted us to be tied into their rules and regulations for a long time. I think it was something like until the year 2100, I believe. I'm not too sure on that, and we have no say in the matter whatsoever. Now, what the British government failed to do was basically end the supply contract. The way they should have ended the supply contract was very simple. Repeal the 1972 European Communities Act. In 1972, the British government surrendered our powers to Europe by signing the European Communities Act. That basically meant that if there was a conflict between EU law and British law, EU law prevailed. And most EU laws are determined by unelected officials who are accountable to nobody, hence part of the mess. Now what should have happened is the day after the referendum, the British government should have passed a bill to repeal the 1972 European Communities Act, take back control ourselves, and then there would be nothing that they could have done. Okay, we would have ended the supply contract. Now if you work out the maths, we paid the European community £50 million a day. Basically that works out that over 3 years, £54 billion. Now you just think what we could have done with £54 billion. The police have always moaned about a lack of resources. I mean, there was a scandal of the Scunthorpe steelworkers, their plant going bust. Well, imagine what would happen if we would have used that £54 billion to give them a couple of Navy contracts or something like that. We could have done a lot of money, a lot of good with that money. Okay, one of the reasons we're leaving the EU. So that explains how the EU is behaving like the energy industry. Now, if you don't believe me about this, below there is a newspaper article about the Fat Olive in Ormskirk, and that's exactly what happened to them. I warned them, but they didn't listen. Now, just as a side, if you are a self-employed business owner, and you do actually have an energy contract, please get in touch with me, and I'll get you out of your energy contracts, and I'll basically negotiate a better deal. Okay, my name's Bond, James Bond. Leave you shaken but not stirred. Bye bye.